Welcome to Books on Tap. My name is Kelly O'Keefe, and I'm the President and CEO of Book Trust. Thank you for joining us for our first ever virtual event. While we will certainly miss seeing everyone in person, we are incredibly grateful for the opportunity to connect with all of you tonight. For nearly 20 years, Book Trust has been empowering children in Colorado to choose and own books every month of the school year through our partnership with Scholastic Book Clubs. We've been cultivating a culture of literacy in the classroom and in the living room with teachers and students, including the creation of home libraries. And we've adapted through an unprecedented time of change and challenge to continue the delivery of our mission, ensuring that every Book Trust student discovers the joy and power of reading. I'd like to thank our sponsors for supporting tonight's event. Our platinum sponsor is Scholastic. Our gold sponsors, PFS Insurance Group and Bank of Colorado, and our silver sponsors, First Bank and First National Bank of Omaha. In addition, thanks to all of you for your continued support of Book Trust in Northern Colorado. We're so glad you're with us to share in this special Fund the Need event. I also want to share our deep appreciation for the Northern Colorado Regional Advisory Board who helped make this event possible. Special thanks to Chair Angie Penland, as well as Advisory Board members Nicole Walusis, Aaron Whittington, Matt Keller, Mike Clark, and Heather Gossel. And a special thank you to our National Board of Directors for their continued leadership and commitment to our mission. Amy Kolchak, Chair of Book Trust's National Board, now has a few words to share with you.
Thank you, Kelly. I'm Amy Kolchak, currently Chair of the National Board for Book Trust, and I am so excited to have you all with us this evening, even if it is in this crazy virtual environment that we're slowly all getting used to, or maybe quickly getting used to if you're more savvy than I am. I have been involved with Book Trust since 2012 when I first learned of this amazing organization that was bringing choice and ownership of books to elementary school students across the country. I was that kid that used to get these Scholastic flyers at school each month and immediately pour through them, trying to find all the different books that I wanted to read. I would rush home, give these flyers to my parents, and just beg them to order all the different books that I had circled. Now, unfortunately, my family wasn't in a position to buy those books. It just wasn't in the budget for our farm family. But thankfully, I had great access to public libraries, but I also had this amazing network of adults who did have the ability to give me the opportunity to choose, read, and own my own books throughout my childhood. And I really credit that access and that opportunity to my being able to eventually become a first-generation college graduate. And so when I heard about this amazing organization called Book Trust that was bringing that same choice and access and ownership of books to kids across the country, I knew I had to be involved. And I've been a Book Trust champion ever since. So whether you've been a Book Trust champion for years now or just hearing about our organization tonight, I'm just so happy that you're here to share the joy of Book Trust and the joy of choice and ownership of books that we're able to bring to these kids across the country. As many of you already know, Book Trust was started right here in Northern Colorado by Adrienne Schatz with help from the Ceramus Foundation. Adrienne knew, even in her young age, that book access can be the single biggest barrier to literacy in low-income areas around the country. Just looking at the ratio of books to children in low-income areas of America shows that in some areas of our country, there is a ratio of a single book to 300 children. Research at the same time shows that 75% of children who aren't proficient readers by the end of third grade are 4 times less likely to graduate from high school. Our program, our Book Trust program, acts as a deterrent to that devastating statistic and serves as an equity game changer, allowing our kids in these lower income areas of America to have the same equal access to books, to choose those books that interest them, and allow them to become proficient readers by the end of third grade when it's so key to make that transition from learning to read to reading to learn. Our model sparks a passion for reading and increases literacy outcomes. In Northern Colorado alone last year, over 4,000 students in 12 schools throughout Northern Colorado were served by our Book Trust program, and we can and will and want to do more. Throughout this evening, we'll be encouraging you to click on the donate button on our Books on Tap event webpage. You should already be there as you stream this event. Just simply click on the donate button on the landing page at any time to support our students, our teachers, our schools, and our communities as we bring the game-changing joy and power of reading to our Book Trust kiddos. Thank you for your dedication to Book Trust's mission, and thank you for spending time with us this evening.
Thank you so much, Amy. As an organization, we have felt the impacts of the COVID pandemic, from all of our schools closing in the spring to fundraising. It truly has affected every facet of our work. Yet we continue to deliver and know this program, now more than ever, is making a difference. Despite distance learning and the many obstacles schools, teachers, and students are facing currently, our books are bringing a culture of literacy into the classroom and the living room, wherever learning and reading is happening. As Amy mentioned, Book Trust was founded 20 years ago by Adrian Schatz. It is because of Adrian's vision that all children have an opportunity to discover the joy and power of reading, and that's why we're all here today.
I started Book Trust 20 years ago to help every kid in the Northern Colorado community learn to love reading. After realizing that many families couldn't afford to purchase books through scholastic book clubs, and seeing what a powerful way that could be to address those gaps in access and ownership, the idea for Book Trust was born. In that first year, we served 170 kids throughout Larimer County. And this year we're serving many tens of thousands in 21 states. Making sure that kids can choose and own books they love and have access to them at home, especially now in these very uncertain and really difficult times, is our unwavering focus. And it's been amazing to watch Book Trust grow over the last 20 years nationally, and always at the heart of that will be our Colorado program. It's always going to be my heart. On behalf of every kid in our community, I hope you can support Book Trust tonight. And thank you very much for being champions of our program.
Thank you, Adrian. It means the world to us that we're sharing this time together on behalf of our Colorado kids. It's an opportunity to take action and make a difference. Although we're a national organization across 21 states, our largest concentration of schools is right here in Colorado. This event and all of you are critical to Book Trust's ability to support local schools. There is no better investment than getting books into the hands of kids for them to choose, love, own, and create home libraries with. I invite you to click on the donate button on our Books on Tap event webpage, which you are already on as you stream this event. Just simply click on the donate button on the landing page at any time to support our students, teachers, and the joy of power of reading. I am so excited to welcome our next guests, Book Trust supporters from Horse and Dragon Brewing Company in Fort Collins, Tim and Carol Cochran, co-founders, along with Luke Margheim. While we are usually in person enjoying craft beer together, tonight we get a view behind the scenes to learn tips from the experts on how to enjoy your best beer tasting experience. Cheers!
Cheers, Books on Tap. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm here on the brew house at Horse and Dragon Brewing Company. This is where the recipes start. Really, the recipes start in brains weeks before they get here. But this is where the physical part of the brewing process starts. And I've got a delicious IPA that I'm going to come tell you about. At Horse and Dragon, we really appreciate the work that Book Trust is doing to help kids get super enthusiastic about reading, owning books, going to school. At this point, going to school is a rough time for some of them, but we believe in the power of what Book Trust is doing, and we're grateful to be a tiny part of Books on Tap. I'm having a delicious IPA that we make. I also want to point out another IPA that I know you guys might have in your fridge from a company that is also great supporter of Book Trust. I just wanted to point out that you can enjoy any style of IPA at your home from any brewery. You have 400 plus to choose from in Colorado alone. Almost all of us make at least one IPA, some make several. Odell Brewing Company has supported Book Trust since the beginning, and they're a great company. They make a fantastic IPA that is omnipresent in Colorado. So if you can't find your local brewery's IPA, or you just want to taste one of the best, go get yourself an Odell. Cheers to Book Trust.
Hi, I'm Luke Margheim, Horse and Dragon Brewing Company. Just got a beer here, delicious Whistle Blast Honey Brown, and we're going to go over real quick some tips on tasting craft beer. First off, you always want to pour into the proper glassware. This being a brown ale, sits really well in a Willie Beecher pint glass that we use at the brewery. Other pint glasses will work well as well. Sometimes we'll see an English no-neck pint, which has a little bit of a knobule to it at the top. But honestly, whatever glassware works best for you is probably best for the occasion and no circumstances, in any circumstance. First thing you want to do is you want to take a look at your beer. The beverage itself starts with what it looks like in the glass. You can see brown ale. You can slightly see through this beer. It's very opaque, but it is brown in color and somewhat rosy red. It does have a decent head to it. Head retention is occurring along the lines up here. You can see that the foam kind of sticks to the top of the glass. The color of the foam is actually kind of a light tan, but it's sustaining, which tells you that it's well carbonated and that it has a good recipe development to it. And so always want to look at it first and get a good idea of how it appears. And then you want to smell it. Now, don't dive in there with your nose right away and take a big whiff, because you'll just destroy everything that you got going on in your nose. Your nose has very, very delicate senses to it, and if you take your time with smelling, you'll actually get different nuances the more you go through it. So one thing that a lot of people like to do is something called a drive-by. And it's literally what you think it is. You just take the glass directly underneath your nose, just like that, and take small sniffs as you go past. Not big whiff, but just small ones. And you'll notice you'll get, on this brown, I get a little bit of toffee, I get a little bit of caramel, a little bit of roast, but that's just the beginning. I'm just getting those sweets just right off the top. So I'll do that one more time. Kind of get that flavor profile put together in my head, and then I'll also dig in on it too. Sometimes you'll open your mouth when you take a whiff as well, because it does actually open up portions of your palate, and actually you can smell different things. Like I say, a lot of roast, caramel, a little bit of toastiness to it, but sweet malt. Smells good. Next step, the best step. You got to taste it. I like to start with a very small taste, just so that temperature that usually the beer is at, it usually ranges between 32 and 42 degrees. You allow the temperature to increase slightly in your mouth, which actually allows for more of the flavor to open up. And so if you take that small sip to begin with, you can get a pretty good nuanced understanding what the flavor is without it chilling your tongue. Not to mention, there's different places on your tongue where you're going to get different flavors, different sweetnesses in different locations. And so you want to kind of take your time with that first sip, kind of savor it, get an understanding for it. The unique thing about beer itself is that because it's carbonated, you do want to swallow. A lot of places you may have done tastings with wine, and you can spit that out in many cases because you get most of the flavor you're after just by holding that flavor in your mouth, and you can spit. With beer, you do want to swallow because the carbonation will actually add to the flavor as it goes down your palate and into your throat. And, well, frankly, that's the best part of it anyway. So I'll go back in for another sip, probably a little bit larger one. Again, holding it in my mouth for an extra few seconds. Get an understanding of the flavor, feel it throughout your mouth. I can feel the coating of the sweetness of the malt, and there's a little bit of roast that finishes at the end. Very clean flavor though. The carbonation actually cleans up the sweetness as it draws back, but even balanced beer. Good way to taste is always to take your time with this, at least initially, because the flavor will change as you move down the glass. Now you can see right off the bat, there's lacing as you move down. It's considered Belgian lacing. And that's part of the head retention. Again, part of the visual of this beer, or of many beers. Pay attention to what you have in your hand and how it develops as you go down through. You'll be able to see different reactions during the temperature breakdowns. Whistle Blast Honey Brown, Horse and Dragon Brewing Company. Hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy your event.
Hey, I'm Tim, I'm Horse and Dragon Brewing Company, and I'm here at the Bright Tanks, which is where we do our final carbonation step for conditioning the beer to make it taste great again. Yeah, so that's these tanks right behind me. So the beer that I'm trying today is the Silver Lion Czech Style Pilsner. You know, I used to work for a large beer company and went to the Czech Republic and went to the place called Pilsen, where Pilsner originated, and walked around in the caves down there, and they have wooden barrels that are aging some of the beer. It's just an amazing flavor, and I feel like Josh actually did a nice job of replicating that, and it's fresh. Rather than shipping it from Czech to the United States, we're getting it from our tanks, so pretty happy. So Czech Style Pils, you look at it, I mean, that's about as clean and clear as you can get on a beer, and that's exactly what we're going for with this style. All right, the color is great, and also the aroma is really nice. You get some really nice sweetness from that, from the malted barley that's going in that. It's like Pilsner style malt, but you also get a slight touch of the Saz hops, which come out of the Bohemia region. I taste it, and you know what? One of the most important parts of this is it's really fizzy, right? It has a really nice carbonation level, but also then you taste the beer, and it's just so nice and easy drinking. It's a little bit of sweetness again on the hops, but it's on the malts. Oops, but it's actually touched with a little bit of hop on it to give it that little bit of bite, and then it just finishes so cleanly that it makes me want to drink it again. Yeah, so that's the Silver Lion. It's our Czech Style Pils, and I hope you have some of it or go find it and enjoy it. Cheers.
Thank you so much to Horse and Dragon Brewing Company for joining us and for your steadfast commitment to Book Trust students and teachers along the way. Let's shift to Emily Anderson, a kindergarten teacher at Laurel Elementary in Poudre School District, who wants to share the impact of Book Trust on her students.
Hi, my name is Emily Anderson, and I am a kindergarten teacher at Laurel Elementary School of Arts and Technology in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm so excited to be with you and to be able to share some of the ways that Book Trust has impacted my classroom over the last several years. So when I think about my classroom and the impact that the Book Trust program has had, I think about all of the students that come to me from so many different backgrounds, economic backgrounds, social backgrounds, students that have lived in Fort Collins their whole life, students that have just recently moved here, students that are currently living in the multiple shelters that we have here in town, and students that are also living in more than one home and going back and forth between parents, grandparents, other family members. They all come to me from different situations. And one thing that we can provide for all of them because of this wonderful program is every month we can provide books. So I know for many of these children, the fact that we can let them choose their own books and bring them home each month to add to their at-home library is something that is so exciting for them and so impactful when it comes to them learning to read. In kindergarten, a big part of our job is getting them excited about reading and getting them excited about books. Yes, they can't read those books yet without the help of an adult, but they can get excited about them and they can learn how to look for letters they know in those books and sight words, and they can have an adult read to them. The exciting part of having those books passed out to them in the classroom is we love to spend time reading those books with those children while they are here before they take them home. Not knowing who will be able to read with them at home, we take time to celebrate the books here and read them to them a few times before they take them home. And then they can at least tell themselves a story as they sit at home with their books, whether an adult is able to read to them or not. So those books are a window into what they are going to learn how to do and into the world around them. And Scholastic provides amazing different books that they get to pick from, and books where they get to see themselves in those books, or their friends in those books, or their teachers, or the other adults in their lives. So that is just a little bit of how Book Trust impacts my classroom. It brings the love of reading into the classroom once a month because of the goodness of this Book Trust program. That's something I don't even have to worry about. I just get to collect the Scholastic flyers, turn them in, and there the books appear. It's a little bit of work on my part to make a huge impact on our classroom and the children that come into this classroom each day. When I think of Book Box Delivery Day, it is a very exciting day in our classroom. I would get out the box, we'd open it together, we'd go through and celebrate all the different books that each child got, talk about the ones that were the same as each other and the ones that were different and why different students chose those books. And then we just spend time reading and celebrating those wonderful books. We wrote our names inside the cover to show that those books were now ours and ours to keep. And we shared them with each other. And then eventually we got to take them home and share them with families and brothers and sisters and cousins and lots of other kids in our neighborhoods. And so that Book Box Day was just the beginning of an adventure with their new books. And it was always so exciting to be able to start that adventure in the classroom by opening that big white box with those great red letters on it. They knew what that was, and they knew what it meant when I brought one of those into the classroom. So I just want to say thank you to Book Trust and the continued support and what you are providing, not only for the students in my classroom, but for the overall experience as a teacher I get to have with books and my students. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me talk about the impact that we have had in those book celebration days, and keep up the great work in supporting schools. You are greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time.
We are so appreciative of all of our teachers across Colorado who make this program possible, especially now, ensuring their students have the opportunity to choose and order their own books is a testament to their determination and investment in this program. On behalf of all of our Book Trust teachers, help us continue to make this a reality for students across Northern Colorado. Just $100 provides one student with our program every month of the academic year. $2,500 supports an entire classroom for a school year, and as an example, funding a 250-student school would be covered with a $25,000 donation. We again invite you to click on the donate button on the Books on Tap landing page during this event to support our students, teachers, and the joy and power of reading. We are so fortunate to have one of our favorite Scholastic authors with us today. Scholastic is one of our longest partnerships, and this year they're celebrating their 100th anniversary. Peter H. Reynolds is a New York Times bestselling author and illustrator of many books for children, including Happy Dreamer, The Dot, and The Word Collector, and he's joining us from his home in Massachusetts.
Hi, this is Peter H. Reynolds, and I am here in my studio in Dedham, Massachusetts, not too far from Boston, and I am honored to be connecting with you tonight to celebrate the great work that Book Trust does, continues to do, and with our help will continue to do even in bigger ways. And thank you also for Scholastic Book Clubs for inviting me to share my mission, which resonates so strongly with the Book Trust mission. I'm a big believer in literacy. I love, love, love books, and I was lucky enough to have Scholastic Book Clubs in my school, and I would order my books, and I was so thrilled. It was like having a birthday when that box arrived, and I loved choosing my own books, which is that really is the next step. Teaching kids how to read is absolutely right. That's essential. Giving them books to read, fantastic. But letting kids tell us what books resonate with them, what book speaks to them, that's really, really important. That helps discern who they are, which is a lifelong task, but why not start early? Who are you? That is, in fact, the most powerful question that we can ask our children and ourselves too. Books can help us discover what interests us, what sparks us, and will lead us to activate those books, right? Great educators know how to activate a book, as do great parents. You can read a book or you can activate that book, and that means diving in deeply. What did the book, what did it mean? What does it inspire you to do? and teachers and great parents, they know how to get kids to live that book. I have a book called The Dot, and a teacher created a day to celebrate the themes of the book, which are about bravery and creativity, and it has blossomed into International Dot Day, which this year was celebrated in 188 countries, 19 million participants making dots, signing their names proudly, framing them, creating community galleries. That is from activating a book. So books are powerful. They contain powerful ideas. The lovely thing about picture books is that you can deliver a powerful idea in a very, very short period of time. 5 to 6 minutes, and you have delivered a big idea. And kids they're ready for those big ideas. They are little philosophers, and they want to be challenged. We need to challenge kids to use that amazing brain of theirs. And I always say, right, we've got two sides of our brain, right, the left and the right side. And when you really want your brain to hum, you get two sides of your brain working and being strong. And that's what is so powerful about books, and especially picture books, because they contain art. And I'm a big advocate for the arts and creativity. I believe that everybody is an artist. And sometimes we slow down, we get a little bit critical of our work, and we begin to shut down, and we begin to get quiet. And when we get quiet and we stop sharing our ideas, when we stop thinking for ourselves, the alternative is to listen to others, and only listen to others, and not hear your own voice. And when you let other people do your thinking, that it's actually quite dangerous. Our country was built on this idea that every voice matters. Now more than ever, we need to encourage all voices, diverse voices, to speak up, to share what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're dreaming, what they're going to build, how they're going to make this world a better place. So let's join together in the mission to make this world a better place. We are going to do it through our energy, our creativity, through action. And consider me a friend on this journey. Let's keep connecting the dots. And again, thank you to Scholastic Book Clubs for inviting me to share my passion, my mission with you. Everyone that gathered around tonight to celebrate Book Trust, share the mission to make it better. And we are going to do it, we're going to do it together. So here's to the best year yet. We're going to make this next one really, really good. I am certainly inspired to do that. And I have some new books on the way. I can't wait to share them with you.
Thank you, Peter, for joining us. Your books and their message is such an inspiration to our Book Trust students. Book Trust work would not be possible without the donors and volunteers who help bring our work to life. Two long-standing supporters of Book Trust are joining us: Angie Penland, Northern Colorado's Regional Advisory Board Chair, and Wynne Odell, the co-founder of Odell Brewing Company. Angie has served on our Northern Colorado board since 2017. We are beyond thankful for her commitment, dedication, and support of our students in Colorado. Wynne has been an advocate and champion of Book Trust from the beginning. We thank them both for their advocacy and commitment to our mission.
Hi, I'm Wynne Odell. I've been a supporter of Book Trust for many years, and I think my connection with it in the first place came from years of working at the book fair at my children's elementary school. And that was obviously a long time ago. But when I'd be there working, I'd see a whole classroom come in and a big part of the classroom run out. Each kid had a bunch of books in his or her arms. And then there would be kids who'd walk out with notebooks that they were holding. And I recognized that that was a problem then, but didn't know how to address it. So once I found Book Trust, I love the connection between Scholastic directly with the classroom and the teachers, and the children in the classroom, so that every child has books to take home and enjoy in his or her own home, which obviously will help with the literacy of every child in every class. I think it's a wonderful program, and I will continue to support Book Trust for a long time to come and look forward to watching the organization grow. Thanks.
We know that in low-income households like I grew up in, the ratio of books to children is typically 1 book for every 300 children. Book Trust is addressing this gap by ensuring kids get to choose books every month and keep them. Book Trust teachers report that the program increases literacy and reading at grade level. Because of this early exposure to book choice, I had success in school and developed a lifelong love of books. Not only am I still a reader today, but as an author, I create stories for others to enjoy. None of this would have been possible without early access to books, and it truly changed my life. This year, Book Trust will serve over 2,200 kids in northern Colorado and over 3,100 in the Denver area, plus thousands more in the other 20 states we serve. However, the need is great, and we have many schools on the wait list to work with Book Trust. I hope you'll consider donating, knowing that every dollar you give goes toward increasing the number of kids and schools Book Trust can serve, giving more kids the same opportunity I had to choose and own books.
As we near the end of our time together, please consider making a donation by clicking on the donate button on our Books on Tap event webpage, which you are already on as you stream this event. Every dollar you donate today will get books and resources into the hands of our students and ensure we can continue our mission despite the impact of COVID over time. Great appreciation again to our Books on Tap sponsors. Their support of our success is especially appreciated now, when our students need us more than ever. We're so glad you joined our first Book Trust virtual event and for making our work possible in Colorado. While this may continue to be a challenging time for all of us, it is drastically affecting educators and school budgets across the country. Many of our schools have been in the unenviable position of having to choose which programs to continue this year due to school budget cuts. Across the board, we've seen a commitment to Book Trust on behalf of these schools that we have truly been inspired by. We know Book Trust is making a difference, and that difference is something you can be a part of today. On behalf of the students and teachers we serve across northern Colorado, thank you and take care.